Hey entrepreneur, this is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing, and welcome to this special presentation entitled The 5 Most Common Marketing Mistakes Small Business Owners and Service Providers Make and How to Correct them. Otherwise, you'll probably keep losing a ton of money, guaranteed. In this brief presentation, you're going to discover 5 incredibly simple yet deadly marketing mistakes the average small business and or service provider constantly makes, and it's one of the reasons why a staggering 88% of them, that's correct, within 5 years or less are going to be out of business. Hopefully, at the end of this presentation, you'll find yourself in the remaining 12%. That's the point. So let's get started. Major marketing mistake number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this little small business owner here? This person look at how hard he's screaming into that microphone. Let's imagine he stands out in front of a crowd of people, like in a crowded airport, and he yells out at the top of his lungs, "Hey you, miss!" Who's this gentleman talking to? And who is your marketing message trying to reach? Now the point is, there's 10,000 good-looking men, 10,000 good-looking women hurriedly going about their way, trying to connect with their flights, waiting for loved ones, business partners, etc. And you have no clue who you're trying to reach. You can see the problem, right? So that brings us to major marketing mistake number 1, which is this: failure to use highly targeted headlines to zero in on your best prospect, customers, and clients, period. Ladies and gentlemen, if that gentleman got in front of that audience and said, "Excuse me, would Mr. John Jones or Mary Smith please report to U.S. Air departure gate number 24B," they'd have a much better chance of reaching John Jones or Susie Smith. That's the point. You cannot be all things to all people, entrepreneur. You say, "Yeah, but Mark, I have a health juice drink. Everybody needs to be healthy." You're absolutely correct, but here's the problem. Everybody's not trying to be healthy. So you're looking for people who are saying, "You know what, I want to get into better shape, and I want some kind of juice or something is health related as a product or service to help me get there." That's who you're targeting. You're a chiropractor. "Yeah, but Mark, my service will help everybody." Everybody is not interested in being healthier. Every small business owner and or service provider is not interested in learning the 5 most common marketing mistakes they're likely to make. So the point is, you're looking for a specific targeted group, a niche, if you will. Now, once you discover that niche, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, you can build your funnel out and your exposure and your reach. But in the beginning, you have got to target. Now take a look at this next statistic. 80% of the success or failure entrepreneur, listen to this, will ultimately be decided by the overall effectiveness or lack thereof of your main power headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever forget this. Your prospect, customer, client, they have have a giant neon sign that we wear on our chest, and you know what it says? What's in it for me? If your headline is not cutting to the chase and telling them precisely, exactly what is in it for them, you got 4 or 5 seconds and you are toast, because they're moving on. They're not even going to take the bother to read the remainder body copy of your ad or your marketing message if that headline isn't targeted. In other words, if you're getting in front of that crowd saying, "Excuse me, miss, sir, have you ever got these mailing pieces in the mail that say, 'Dear Resident'? Do you know anybody named Resident?" Now, when it has a specific name on it, you pay more attention to it, don't you? Bingo. That's the purpose of that headline. And in fact, remember, their favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? And if you're not telling them, your major competitors will, and you're going to lose. So you got to use headlines, people, and you got to learn how to use them. You got to target that person with a specific benefit and or benefit. In fact, let's try this. Let's suppose right now you got rushed to the hospital And they ran a couple of tests and preliminary tests, and guess what they discovered? If you don't get open heart bypass surgery in the next 24 hours, you're done. And on that short notice, they got two potential surgeons on staff that can perform this particular surgery that you need. And here are the statistics. Now you tell me which one you want performing this operation. The first surgeon, this lady has performed this operation 10 times, and 8 times out of the last 10, her patient survived. The other doctor performed this same surgery, and the last 10 times, only 2 of the patients survived. The other 8 didn't. Which one do you want? No brainer, right? Entrepreneur, if that headline doesn't cut to the chase, guess what? You got a 20% chance or less of reaching that prospect. And it doesn't matter if it's a business card, postcard, sales copy, in other words, an offline sales letter, a headline on a lead capture page, or what some people call a squeeze page, your blog. It doesn't matter. Radio, television, it's not the medium. The medium is just delivering your message. That headline had better tell them what's in it for them, or you're done. Don't forget that. Let's move on. Major marketing mistake number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this plush looking restaurant right here? Take a look at that. What does that, a heavy metal guitarist, and explicit gangster rap lyrics have to do with successfully marketing your small business product or service? Oh, you'd be surprised, entrepreneurs. Stick around. You're going to love this. Now, just to set the scene here, heading back to the restaurant here for just a second. Let's suppose that you and a friend run across each other downtown. You haven't seen each other in years. You say, hey, how have you been? It's great. You want to tell each other, catch up each other, what's going on in your lives. And you decide, hey, let's meet down at the Palm, really nice restaurant, and we're going to catch up. And normally, when you go to the Palm during the middle of the week, this place is mobbed, it's packed, it's very popular. There's dignitaries there, there's local politicians, local celebrities, local business, everybody's there. It's the place to be. Now here's the point. When you get to the Palm, it pretty much looks like what you see now. Do you see anybody in there? This place is pretty much a ghost town. And you can't believe it, but you and your buddy walk in, they sit you down. It's under new management. And you're thinking, wow, this place is really looking good. And all of a sudden, they start playing this music. And it's loud, satanic, heavy metal music. And it's really loud. And you're thinking, what in the world is going on here? And as soon as that goes off, guess what they followed up with? Some hardcore, really explicit, you know the type I'm talking about, hardcore gangster rap. Now, nothing against people who might be looking at this who you're into gangster rap or you're into heavy metal. It's not the point. Just hang on here. Now you're thinking, okay, Mark, this is kind of interesting. Where are we going with this? Well, here's where we're going. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see this text here? The second one. You see that dark background with the white text? If anybody ever suggests you use that, that's called reverse print. Ladies and gentlemen, don't walk, run. Visually, they've run tests, millions of dollars, and you know what they've discovered? That print is extremely hard to read. Think of that sound, when somebody scratches a blackboard, how irritating that is. Well, visually to your eyes, reverse text is what heavy metal music or explicit gangster rap music is to your ears. It's extremely irritating. Do not use this print ever. I don't care if you're in the advertising business. Do not contact me trying to justify this. I'm telling you what the facts state. Entrepreneur, don't do it, or you're throwing your money down the drain. You have been warned. Let's move on. Major marketing mistake number 3. Ladies and gentlemen, let's suppose that you decide to take your family. Look at that nice luxury liner cruise ship. You decide to take your family on a cruise. Business is going well. You go online. You find this cruise ship. It's an 8-hour trip. You pack up the family, or it's just you, whatever. You jump on this deal, and 4 hours into it, they stop, give you this first class luxury lunch. The other 4 hours, you come back, you go out on the deck, you take some pictures, you might tweet, Facebook about it, whatever. You come back, you had a blast, you met some nice people. Things are just great. Now, here's the point. Look at this cruise ship right here. What if after the trip is over, you find out for the exact same amount of money that you spent for this trip here, this trip would have thrown in 3 days in a 5-star hotel, 2 days, 3 nights, a luxury dinner each night in the hotel, plus gave you $150 in traveling money, and gave you a car, and your airfare was 35 cents off the boot. In other words, this was a bundled package. Now, be honest. Which one of these trips would you have preferred? Now you're thinking, oh, come on, Mark, this is brain dead. Of course I would have chosen number 2. And you'd be absolutely correct. And you're saying, okay, well, what does this have to do with anything? Here's what it has to do with, entrepreneur. If you're not inexpensively testing the major variables of your ads against one another in order to determine which major benefit and or benefit produces the most bang for your buck, you're losing money. So in other words, instead of thinking these as 2 separate trips, what that's saying is one proposition might outpull the other one by a staggering amount, but you're never going to find that out because you're not testing. Now, offline is a very powerful technique called A/B split testing, and here's the way this works. Because if you're thinking, oh, well, this is techie and you can only do this online. Now, the way you would do this online is you'd have some software that you can get. And what you would do, let's say I'm just going to use lead capture pages just as an example. And this is just strictly from a conceptual standpoint, so you get the overall concept. You would drive traffic, and every other unique visitor would see either, you'd rotate it. They'd see offer A, lead capture A, or lead capture B. And what you're trying to determine is, and they each be a little different. One will have a slightly different headline, and then another time you change the PSs, and you keep testing these little variables in the background color, and the bullet points, and the call to action, all of these variables, and you only test one variable at a time. If you're not using the internet, in other words, you just went to YouTube and you came across this video some kind of way, then the way you do it offline is you send out one mailing campaign, and you're testing headlines, and you go back and forth one variable at a time, and you track. But offline, here's the way you would do this. Let's suppose you run a retail store. You have one person do your control package. In other words, they answer the phone, they greet the customers the way they always have. But everybody else, you give them a specific approach to start using with your first-time callers, people who have come in as a first-time visitor, and you track for a week. And at the end of the week, everybody compares notes. Oh, this didn't work too good. Oh, that really worked good. And when you find out something that universally works better than everything else, that's when you roll it out, meaning you make it universal. Everybody starts doing it. And now for those same 100 customers you got coming through the door, or that same 500 people coming through the door in a month, you're going to do far more business for the same amount of money, or maybe even less money, entrepreneur. That's the power of inexpensively testing, and that's also the power of A/B split testing. Let's suppose you had a list of 1,000 people, and it doesn't have to be 1,000, it could be 100. One way you could A/B test is you send 500 one offer, 500 another. Or if you were testing headlines, you could have 4 separate headlines go out to 250 people, or 4 separate PSs, whatever. It's not the amount, it's the concept. You gotta test. And if you start testing and tracking, you're going to be a much better marketer, because you're going to have a much better idea of what your specific targeted niche wants and needs and will respond to. And that's how you make more money. Okay? Let's move on. Major marketing mistake number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this headline, please. And I'm using this as a specific example because I was on a webinar recently, and one of the superstar marketers who was hosting this event spoke about this, and I thought, man, I got to use this too. Now, first of all, here's my question to you. What is the target market to this headline? The home team advantage. Do you have any clue? Is it a sports team? Is it a real estate company? Is it a bank? Is it an insurance company? The point is, ladies and gentlemen, your prospect does not have time to figure out who you're talking to. That is your job. You say, yeah, but Mark, you got to have a headline. That's a headline. It's a statement. What's the benefit? What advantage? You know, if you say home team advantage, that's like if somebody says, you like music? She said, yeah, I like music. Okay, well, what specific kind of music do you like? You say, oh, do you like gangster rap? Oh, I don't like gangster rap. Well, don't say you like music. Say, I like classical music. That's my first choice. Oh, okay. Now it would make sense for them to show you something in the classical music department. Now, take a look at this second ad, and you tell me if you have any idea who this second ad is targeting, or is it even targeting? Free 37-minute video finally reveals how not to lose your home in foreclosure, even if you can't afford the payments. Call 1-800-extension-43 to get your free DVD today. Now, who is that ad for? Is this for out-of-work truck drivers? No. Is this for women who want to go from being an RPN to an LPN, or I'm sorry if I got it backwards, LPN to RN? No. This is specifically for somebody who owns a home who, for whatever reasons, can't afford their payments, and they might be headed to foreclosure. Now, learn another powerful point about marketing. You got to market the message and use the right medium. In other words, let's suppose there's a female doctor who's into golf. Do you run that ad in a golfing magazine? No. But you say, but Mark, she's into golf. She might read the ad. That's true. You'd be better off putting it in a real estate orientated magazine, on or offline publication, and or offering it, writing an article in a real estate publication, and or offering a free workshop, and or doing a teleseminar that targets that specific group, or having that as a signature line in a forum that you're a participating member in. You see the difference? So major marketing mistake number 4 is you're using non-effective, not to mention incredibly costly, what some people call institutional or image ads, instead of long-term profit producing, business building, direct response marketing. In other words, this is one form of direct response. Here's another form. Have you noticed how sometimes McDonald's and Burger King will run these ads after a movie comes out? Let's say the movie's targeting kids, like Transformers or Toy Story, and they'll say, hey, come in for a limited time, and when any kids meal, your kids get this toy, and that's an incentive for the kids to tug at mommy and daddy and say, take me to Burger King or McDonald's. The point is, you see how McDonald's is using a specific, in this case, a trigger, to get you to come in and buy that Happy Meal so that kid can get that toy. That's a form of direct response. When you run an ad and say, here's a coupon, or call and get this coupon, or when you put on your website, if you're a restaurant, they can come in and get a free dessert. That's a form of direct response. Remember, 88% of your competitors in 5 years or less, they're going to be gone. And guess what they don't use, people? They don't use direct response. So it's your decision. You can fight it or you can get in line with it. Let's move on. Major marketing mistake number 5. Now, ladies and gentlemen, take a look with this one, because this is really powerful when you see this all over the place and you may not really realize what you're seeing. I want you to pretend that in the next 5 hours, you're going to watch 2 webinars, 2 online webinars. Now, this does not have to just apply to the information business, but I'm using that specifically to show you this, and then I want you to start becoming conscious of it when you see it elsewhere. Take a look at this. So let's say you listen to speaker number 1. They have this fantastic offer, and at the end of their presentation, they have these bonuses, and they have these fast mover bonuses, and they say, hey, do this, that, and the other, and you got 24 hours, the first 10 people, or within the first 24 hours, and after that the price goes up and all that. You've seen these offers. Now, this is offer number 2. Their workshop was equally as good, equally as compelling, and I'm using this, we're going to say that they're basically selling the same product or service, because I want you to see this. Notice this. But notice the difference about offer number 2. At the end of the offer, they throw in all these free bonuses too, and I'm using that money to suggest that, you know, these bonuses, free bonuses, in this case, the digital bonuses, not hardcover stuff. But you could do this with hardcover stuff too. It doesn't matter. I mean, physical goods when I say hardcover. But the point is, here's what I'm trying to get to. Here's what they say, and I want you to see if you catch the difference. You got 30, 60, 90 days, in other words, whatever they offer you, to use our product and service. And if you decide for any reason to return it, cancel it, ask for a refund, you can keep all the bonuses as our free gift just for giving this product, service a try. Now, honestly, of the 2 offers, which one would you prefer? Bingo. So here's major marketing mistake number 5. You're not effectively using risk reversal marketing strategies. In other words, you see how they're taking the risk off of you and saying, hey, we know that you're skeptical. Maybe you never heard of us before. So we know you have a natural built-in resistance. So here's what we're willing to do. We are willing to say, even if you decide this isn't for you, we want you to keep these bonuses. Now, if your first gut knee reaction is, yeah, but Mark, I don't have... Entrepreneur, there are tons of other struggling, non-competitive small business owners and or service providers who, if they, you know, have that much on the ball, will realize this is a powerful way for them to inexpensively generate potential new long-term repeat customers and clients. In other words, by offering you one of their low entry-level products or services, or they might just create one that they can offer to their your customers, and you give it away as a risk reversal bonus that they get to keep. You'll start blowing your competitors out of the water. And the other thing you can start looking around at is maybe there are local entrepreneurs who give workshops or whatever the case may be, that you can start inexpensively offering your products and services on their back end as a free risk reversal gift, bonus gift that they get to keep. If you don't know how to do this, you know who to contact now, okay? That's the bottom line to this. Now let's quickly recap this. Let's recall what we learned. Major marketing mistake number 1. Got to use headlines, people. And you got to use benefit-laden headlines. In other words, it's home team advantage stuff. Forget it. Number 2, reverse printing. Don't do it. End of subject. Number 3, you got to start testing people inexpensively. A/B split testing. Powerful. Put money in your pocket. Number 4, stop wasting your hard-earned money on this wasteful, non-accountable, oh, it builds your image. It won't do anything for your image, and all it's going to do to your bottom line is drain it. You got to use direct response. Number 5, start using long-term profit-producing risk reversal, and you'll start easily out-promoting your major competitors. Now, for the rest of you, if you're serious about discovering 3 more brain-dead simple ways that you can add at least 25% more gross profit to your bottom line, do it in the next 90 days or less without adding any new customers or clients, then do yourself a favor. Get over to youcanmarketonlinenow.com/sales. Download the special free 9-page report. It's written specifically for you, small business entrepreneur. And let's get after it. This is Mark Newsom, Mr. Marketing. We'll see you again next time on the Marketing Minute.